Hi, my name is Deanne Crooks. I'm the artist in residence here at the new Art Gallery Walsall, and a big part of what I'm looking at is tales, old wives' tales. The sort of official title of the residency is A Tale or Two, and I'm now sort of in the middle, I'd say probably halfway in the 3-month residency, and I'm feeling like it's the most exciting part where I'm at now. Just returning from a trip to Jamaica. I stayed in Kingston for 2.5, 3 weeks, and just really discovering some of the tales that I already had in depth, basically, and discovering some new ones has been incredible. And so coming back now, I'm feeling quite amped up and excited to get quite practical with some of these tales and see how I can visually experiment with them. So I'm at a really crucial point, I believe, where I've kind of been on a research journey. Even though it was just a short time I was there for, I've got a lot of research. I'm excited to see how I can experiment with it, present it, share it, and how others can engage with it as well. And I think that's an interesting part as well, because my practice is so, or I hope it is anyway, so outward. I'm excited to see how other people like me engage with it. And that will be nice as well for the open studio to see how people respond to some of the tales that I have brought back with me. And also putting them side by side, the tales that I collected from people in the local area. So I have had some incredible visitors so far who have shared tales that are usually quite central to British culture, and it's nice to see how they exist alongside tales of Caribbean culture, two very different cultures, both that exist within me as a person, and I'm quite fascinated by that comparison. One of the biggest takeaways and the most prominent things I noticed when I arrived was the structure and the design of buildings. So here, you might go down the high street in the city centre, and every building obviously has a sign. Every company, every organisation or business has a sign to say, this is the name of the store, this is what we provide, this service. But in Kingston, especially in Spanish Town and some of the more country areas, there is no digital plastic sign, there is no neon lights. It is all hand painted, which was incredibly beautiful. And I noticed it instantly, and I couldn't stop noticing it, which kind of took me on a journey, because every single store was no longer a store. It didn't feel like a business. It felt like somebody's home. It felt like their personal adventure of, this is what I'm selling, this is my product, but this is me. And so you saw a lot of, if not every single place, was painted with like acrylic or sort of your standard wall paint. And you just started to see people's personality in the text. If they sold patties, chicken, beers, whatever they sold there was literally handwritten and painted on the side of this wall or on a placard or something. And that said a lot more to me about the community and the culture there as well. And the colours they used, I think that was the big thing as well, to just see how everyone had a sense of pride in Jamaica through the colours they used painting this wall and painting their signs. And so I really want to take that back and put that into my work, where now I want to play with how I can present these tales using text, using typography, and explore some of the brushstrokes, some of the compositions, the imagery that's created using these beautiful colours, some of them quite pastel and muted and some of them super vibrant. And I'm going to use some sort of bits of plywood and panelling to experiment with that. So that's probably my biggest visual takeaway that I kind of want to delve into more. Well, this was my trip to the National Art Gallery in Jamaica, which is a really great space, and it kind of exists as them archiving snapshots of the local area and the culture there. And they've collected some of these incredible signs that I think were capturing some of the music events and famous events over the years. but some of them are so beautiful. The colours that have been used are just dreamy, to be honest. And I've got another one here where, you know, you've got, let's go back to that one. It's got like reggae in the streets, big day and night. You know, it's got all this text crammed into it. You got the colours of the flag there, the colours of the country. And some of them are just really incredible. Almost got kind of an illustrative quality as well, which is really nice. And a lot of them I noticed had either a black or white background, which is definitely going to be something I play with in my own sort of panels. So that was kind of what I captured here. And you do see a slight bit of imagery there as well, which isn't in all of them, but I noticed that as well when I went to, let me see if I can go back. When I went to some of the stores, they did have some physical figures painted as well. It wasn't just text. They did have an image of, maybe it was the local owner or the owner that used to be there or passed on, and they would have some sort of like mural painted onto the side of the building, which was beautiful. And then I actually captured quite a lot of tales from family who I stayed with, and they were just sort of sharing as many as they could think of, and kind of you could see them searching back into their memory as well and bouncing ideas off one another. And I was just jotting them down, and in most cases I found myself actually writing them in patois as well, which was great. So that's what I've captured here in my notes here. So for example, like a hen shouldn't crow, or it equals bad luck. If you step over a pumpkin or watermelon, then it will grow more. There was just a lot here that were really quite incredibly imaginative, and just makes for kind of an exciting visual element, which is, I think that's where I want to go as well, that in those placards that I work with, it would be really great to try and paint some of these as well, parts of it, similar to what I did with the fish on the plates and the knife on its back. It would be good to incorporate a visual element alongside the text. So I think that's what I want to capture as well. This is one of my favorite ones. Cover your mirror when it rains, otherwise the lightning will draw into the house. And the other favorite was, when you comb out dead hair, you have to burn it, because if a bird gets it, it will turn you crazy or turn you mad. So these are just some of my favorites. And I kind of spent some time as well figuring out where they possibly came from, where, you know, grandmother or mother first heard it from. Do they actually believe in it? Is it actually cemented in people's realities at this age, you know, and different generations? And I was able to witness that it was, to see like someone of 15, 16 years of age physically living by some of these tales was fascinating. Yeah.